finally doing it.
Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the Industry 305. A podcast that's going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly of what the service industry is.
Poquito de todo un poco.
Poquito de todo. We're going to be sharing some personal experiences of what we have encountered in our careers, in this industry. Touching a little bit of everything, bringing some special guests as well to join us and, share their insight on their experiences. So, very excited to start this project. First of all, let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Juan, born and raised in Boston. I've been in this industry for the past 10 plus years, pretty much half my life, to be quite honest. And I've been living in Miami for the past 11 years, And this is a city where, it's definitely a city where you can encounter those good, the bad, and the ugly of the service industry.
305, baby.
Welcome. Start off here and mention my partner here in crime.
Thank you. My name is Carlos Guerrero. Thank you, Juan. Thank you for introducing me and also made me part of this idea that we've been talking about for a while already. Finally, we're making this reality. Man, been working in Miami in the hospitality business for a little while already, more than a decade. And
same time, right? Almost the same amount of time.
Yes, actually, it's been a great experience. A lot of stories from all those years, and happy to have this platform that we're about to share with the world. What we actually encounter on all these years. What do you think?
Oh, I'm excited, man. Because, again, this started off as a simple Instagram page. I remember, presenting to you the idea of what I wanted to do, create a page that, maybe showed some things about what each position encounters throughout a shift. And I started that last year around the end of the year. And I saw that I got a lot of traction and a lot of engagement, and motivated me.
People were feeling what you were posting.
Of course, yeah. No, it was pretty cool. It was a different feeling, and
a way for you also to share. I'm sorry, to share this type of stories, like on a post. Imagine people are feeling like super motivated with this, and also being in part of the at the point of the situation where you're living. Actually, you're going through these situations.
Of course, this idea again with that whole Instagram page, it blew up. It does have a good amount of following, and again, those videos gained a lot of traction. And we talked about, what was the next step? What can we do? What should we do? And I don't remember if it was you or me. We both decided to come up with that idea of the podcast. And
why not?
And, it took some time to put everything together, but we're finally doing it. So
shout out to the production team.
Shout out to the production team.
Thank you, guys.
We couldn't do it without them. This is a group collaboration, and everybody has something to do with it. So,
all about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, for real. One of the topics actually that we wanted to mention maybe in this first episode was the whole balancing the work life and personal life. How
I think it's one of the most important topics
pretty
right
much,
now.
Yeah, it's a pretty important topic because I can personally say that it's not easy. It's not easy because.
Question for you.
Yes.
Tell me if it's right or if I'm right or wrong. But I would say that it's really hard to find a partner when you work in the hospitality business.
Well, yeah, 100%. Because at the end of the day, first of all, if they've never worked in the hospitality industry, they are not really going to understand what we kind of go through and the amount of pressure that we have every day throughout our shift or throughout the week. It's not easy because, I understand also the point of view of that other person. They need also time from you as their partner to.
Yeah, but just imagine when everybody is celebrating, you just out of that space because you just working.
Oh well, you don't.
It's kind of hard for everybody to understand what we do.
Very true. Very true. I mean, I have my personal experience of my birthday is the last day of the year. So, So imagine
You're right. You're
every
right.
year I have to work it, and
You have two reasons that night
it's a
to
day
get
that
drunk.
yeah, it's a day that I celebrate. You know, obviously in terms of okay, I'm turning a year older, and let me tell you, as we get older, you kind of care less and less, to be quite honest. But it's very hard to get that day off because first of all, the restaurant needs bodies, you know, to work. And second of all, I know that it's going to be a good day for making money. So it's tough, man. The whole balancing the life, personal life, and work is it's not easy. But
To be honest with you, I think a lot of people are on the same page with me, but sometimes it's really hard to don't take these problems from home, or from your relationship or from your friendship or anywhere, to don't take it to work, because sometimes I feel like when you're working on a shift, that is your release time. That you have just to do some other stuff that is not think about the situation, but it's hard for people to let that thing go. What do you think about that?
no, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, we're human beings, so you know we go through different emotions throughout the day and all these things. I've always been a person that, you know, maybe it's because of the fact that I've been doing this for a long time. I'm able to shut off those things and keep those at home. Yeah, occasionally there are some things that slip in, and it's natural, man. It's gonna happen regardless.
It's hard. In my
It's very
case, it's
hard. It's
really
very
hard.
hard,
It's
for
really
sure,
hard.
for
You
sure.
can notice in my face.
Oh
You can
yeah,
notice in
no,
my
no, no, yeah,
face. You
yeah,
can
yeah.
notice in my body language that something is not right.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think the thing is that once, for me, once the first table comes in, and I'm gonna take care of that table, I feel like it's almost like lights, camera, action. Like I'm an actor, and I have to turn things
Hundred
on,
percent.
and I have to shut
You
off
should
the
switch
rest
it
of the
off.
world, because at the end of the day, you know, these guests are receiving that energy that you give to them. And if you come at them with this kind of down attitude and this attitude
People feel it. People
of
feel it
course,
100%,
and
and there's sometimes you ruin your tip just because of that.
100%,
It's not like
100%,
people feel that vibe, and people feel like, why this guy is acting this way.
100%. No, it's definitely a skill that you acquire when you have been working in this industry for quite some time, you know, because at the end, sorry, in the beginning for me, it was super hard. You know, it was really hard to kind of be able to turn on and off that whole, you know, okay, now it's time to work. Let's put everything aside. And now maybe I'm just desensitized. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm
besides
dead
being a
inside.
besides being a comedian, besides being an actor, you need also to be a nice psychologist, like to control yourself,
Oh yeah,
and on many type of situations that you just look at the customer, you're like,
yeah, yeah.
you
It's
understand,
like
like,
that mind over matter
yes,
slogan or whatever. You know,
yes,
it's something that is very true. You know, you have to be in control of your mind and how, you know, you approach certain situations and just in that moment live in the present. You know, that's how you should live your whole life. So, but I know we all, as human beings, think of the past, the future. But as long as you live in the present, especially during your shift, you know, things are gonna probably head the right way.
100%, 100%. I'm agree with you on that. And also, talking about that leading to the tip situation, especially if you're expecting that the guest is gonna really take care of you. If you have all this attitude, is he's not gonna even go through like a
He or she,
nice extra tip. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly, an extra tip or anything like that, because you that extra mile that required that side, you didn't.
of
So
course,
you didn't put yourself in that position. So that extra mile never it was never there.
of course, and you know, I always like, you know, a couple tips that I'm sharing with you guys out there. I always like to approach the table with just that kind of genuine vibe where the first thing that goes through my head is that I'm going to approach this table as if obviously I don't know who they are. Each table is going to be different, and don't expect anything at the end of the day. Just concentrate on on giving that table the best experience possible. Because people at the end of the day go to restaurants not just because they want to eat, they go to get out of
Socialize.
their crazy lives and separate themselves from what's going on in their world and have somebody entertain them because we're entertainers at the end of the day, you know?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah. Also, you work as a receptor as well. When you go to a table, you have your receptor on because you really want to read the room and see what is happening on the table, what is the mood that they are.
oh, each table is different for
Completely
sure.
different.
For sure.
Sometimes you have the guy's mad at the girl, but the girl sometimes mad at the guy, and then you need to like play that game. Like, okay, who do I need to talk to here?
Yeah, yeah, no,
It's kind of funny.
It's yeah,
That side is kind of funny.
you have to be almost like an actor in that sense where you have to learn how to read off of different energies and change your personalities because you probably have a section where you have 5, 6 tables and you have to jump around and change personalities from each table to each table. So that is why. That is
I've
why.
been in that situation so many times. You have to be a serious guy here, and then you have to be a funny guy here, and then you have to go over there and be a sassy with this one, and then you have 3 personalities going on at the same time in your shift.
That's why.
And also, you have to be another person with your staff. You have to be the real one with them.
100%. That's why the whole balancing work life and personal is such an important topic because if you don't control these things, if you don't, when you finish your shift, come home, sometimes we all like to decompress. That's the thing. We go home, we have our mind going 100 miles an hour because of the shift, the energy, the people, what we have encountered.
Man, to be honest with you, we my crew, what we do is like we just like have a beer after. We have a shift like that is like so crazy that we've been running around all night. And like you say, to decompress, we talk so much crap between us, and then at the end of the shift, we just want to like hang out together a little bit before we go home. Some people like to
needed,
have a beer. Meanwhile, you're talking all these situations that you're going through the shift, and I think it's pretty nice. But sometimes you really need to go home and rest. Because I think one of the most important things in hospitality business is rest.
Rest, 100%.
If you rest, your mind is going to be clear. Your point of view is going to be completely clear. You're going to be open to understand any situation. Because if you're angry or you're like kind of tired and you like kind of don't want to be there, you're really going to be in that position when you want to like almost fight a guest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it happens. It happens 100%. All the time.
Especially here in Miami, that people are so crazy that they come out with crazy ideas or crazy situations. You just want to be like, oh, my God. I don't know how to control myself right now.
Yeah. No, it's a thing that
it's like you say. I'm sorry to interrupt you again. This like you say, you have to be the comedian. You have to be the doctor. You need to be the
change personalities.
The connection, the solutions.
Yeah.
The solutions.
Yeah.
You need to be everything. So it's hard for people to handle. And you told me something before that is very interesting for me, keep it in my mind all the time, that should be, how do you call that? Should be a requirement to work in the restaurant business for a special amount of time.
Great point. I truly believe that everybody in this world should work at least 2 to 3 weeks in a restaurant.
I would say 2-3 months.
Oh yeah, of course.
2-3 months, you got a hardcore.
But I think at least 2 to 3 weeks, you're gonna experience a lot of things.
To touch bases,
especially in a place that has high pace, energy, and you need to turn tables and all this nonsense. But yeah, I think it should be a requirement because man, sometimes these guests, show up to their dinner experience and they think that it's an easy job, or they treat you like you're way below them or something. They don't treat you as equal or as a person. And
I know, I've been in that position.
And it happens all day, every day. But that's where the whole
some people cannot handle that thing though.
Oh, I know.
Some people cannot even handle that situation. They feel like
why
they feel like depressed right away because like
they take it personally. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, no, I think that just because of the fact that I've been doing this for so long and I've experienced so many different types of environments in terms of the service industry, high pace, slow pace, hotels, all these things. I have just become desensitized to all this, and I just keep a stoic face, straightforward, do my job, make sure I provide, that kind of heartwarming service. And at the end of the day, 8, 7 times out of 10, the guest is going to recognize that and they're going to take care of you properly. Because if you don't, then again, how are we going to expect to make extra tip, which is something that here in Miami is very important in the when you work in the industry,
What,
because
because
because of the fact that there is a service included. We all know that it's something that's obviously known everywhere you go here in Miami. 18 to 20 to 22, some places,
25 some
25
places.
as well is included, and the guest obviously sees that, and they know that, hey, I'm just gonna do my thing.
This is a
And
really hard topic that you just touched right now.
very hard, because that
Yeah,
is
it's
a
very
topic
hot
that
topic right now.
affects me personally, as somebody that's been working in this industry for a while here in Miami. And just I also see the other side of the thing, from the guest perspective. There's
They're
there's
about to
two
take that.
sides.
They're about to take that away. They fighting for it, but I feel your way to to say that because it's crazy, man. In Miami, you go in every corner and they just flip the screen on you and they just ask you for 10, 15, or 18%.
Yeah, even takeout places.
Even
Yeah,
self-service
yeah,
places, they just
self-service.
go, oh, you need to grab your stuff.
Yeah,
And it's very, for example, it's a place on Brickell. I don't want to mention names, sorry guys, but the service is really fast. It's like you ordering something and less than 30 seconds you have it
okay.
in your table. A place like that, would be nice to, okay, let me take care of them,
Yeah,
like even cash or on the screen or whatever, because the service is really fast. And then you like kind of like get this perspective of they're really taking care of you, because some places here in Miami, they really don't care.
well, that's
They
again.
included the tip and they just like they really don't care if it's like too sorry.
That's why for me it's an issue that I personally think that it should not be included, and people should get an hourly wage, and then you're based off of the level of service that you provide. That's the way I started in this industry in Boston, and I believe that's probably the most effective way. Of course, you're gonna have these employees and everywhere that don't really care. They don't give you that proper service, regardless if it's included or not. But I think it's more inclined to not getting good service, especially down here, because of the fact that it's included. It's almost like a crutch. Like the server or the bartender knows, hey, at the end of the day, I'm gonna get a piece of that 20% or whatever, because
It's
it
sad,
is what it
man.
is.
It's really sad.
Yeah,
It's
it
really
shouldn't be like
sad
that.
that that in the industry people act like this, because at the end of the day you just want to provide a good service. And the only way to get that extra tip is if you do the extra mile.
Of course.
That's why a lot of places here, yeah, they include the tip, but guys are like doing the extra mile just to get that tip, that extra tip, that extra $20, that extra $40, that extra $100 that they get sometimes handed to you, because you like, you're like on it.
Of course. I mean, and I think that if it's very hard to kind of touch this subject, because again, I'm a little biased, and since I've been working in the industry, I'm gonna express what I feel is correct. But let's say I'm a guest and I come into a place and I want to expect the best service possible because there's a special occasion, or you're trying to impress somebody, or it's a birthday, or this and that. You could be surprised how much better your service will be if right off rip you hand your server, hey, are you going to be the one taking care of me? Here's $20, here's $40, here's $50. Make sure
A
you
little
take
incentive.
make sure you take good care of me, and I'll give you a little more at the end. I appreciate you, man. Oh man, that service is going to go
That's
from
really
here
the
to
feel.
over here, because now the server is motivated to be like, hey,
And at the end of the day, it's Miami, man. You need to take care of people.
of course.
People here are with this kind of money and they're in their front head. So you need to understand that you need to take care of people in order to get what you want. And not only in the restaurant business, everywhere you go in Miami. Everywhere you go in Miami, people are waiting for that, hey, thank you. And, especially in places that require this type of situations, that you're gonna celebrate your birthday, is your wife anniversary. It's like you need to really be part of these situations with that type of service. So if you want the top tier service, you need to take care of people.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's happened.
Extra.
It's happened to me before. I mean, I go to places where I'm going out with my friends or whatever, and or a person that I'm maybe talking to at the moment, and I hand the server or the bartender a good tip to start and be like, hey, take good care of us. And again, like I said, it's biased because I've worked in this industry, but I've seen it firsthand and I experienced it firsthand. It's happened to me that the level of service just goes from 0 to 100. The I know the customers or the guests are gonna say, "Hey, but it shouldn't be like that because it's already included and this and that." But let's be real, from that 20 to 22%, that's not all going to the server.
No,
And
people. I think
it
we
is what it
hear.
is.
I'm sorry. We hear in that, and that's the reason that we do it actually this well, just to clarify some things that there are no, the very well explained on the word. What about the extra tip, and what about the service charge? Service charge is actually a fee that the house included on every check, and they just like manage that amount of money in the way that they decide to do. They just have to make sure that the waiter or the service staff made the minimum wage on it.
Yep. Yep.
Is right or I'm wrong?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's how it works. And you know, that's why it gets into a very difficult conversation when you're going to present the check to your guests. And I am one of those people that I personally like to always tell them, listen, it's already included.
It's a really
We
tricky
sh-
situation in
we share
Miami with
amongst
that.
all. Anything extra is for your server. I personally hate the fact that there are some people out there that won't tell the guests that it's included, and they just want to get that extra tip. You should be honest. You should be honest. You definitely tell them, hey, it's already included, and if you want to take care of me, this is the way to go about it. Uh,
I
but
heard crazy
definitely
stories.
don't try to try to tell the guests that, oh, I'm only getting 1% or something like that, because let's be real, that's not the case. You are getting something, but if you want to take care of me on the side personally, this is the way to do it. Uh, it's a tough subject,
It's
man.
a tough
It's tough.
situation. I've been hearing crazier stories about this, double tipping situation, and it's hard. I understand the customer and me as a customer. If you tipping 50%, 40%, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I've been hearing some of these crazy stories where servers don't even tell the customers. They just like drop the check, and they're expecting to get something, but they don't even mention that it's already included. And I understand that side, but you need to explain the guest. You need to explain the guest
Of
what is
course.
going on. I think being honest, you're getting more from there than
Goes a
just
long
like,
way.
yeah, just like hide that situation. Like, you know what? I'm not even gonna tell them.
It goes a long way, yeah. And it kind of leads me actually into my next kind of topic, and it stems directly from that. When somebody is actually paying for a bill, nobody else should be involved in the aspect of getting an extra tip, and this happens quite often.
Oh
That
wow!
whether it be a female, whether it be a friend of the guy that's paying, or whatever the case may be,
They just come out of
somebody
nowhere.
comes out of nowhere and tells the person, "Hey, why are you leaving extra? It's already included." Who the hell are
Excuse
you?
me.
What are you?
Excuse me. Where
You're
you
not
been
even,
all this
you're
time?
not even paying for the bill. Why are you getting involved? So, don't get involved. If you're personally paying for the bill and you don't want to leave, okay, I get it.
Or if they splitting the bill, you say, okay, I'm allowed to leave tip or no. But if you're not even touching that tip, why are you getting involved?
It's something that annoys me a lot, and it happens a lot, and you know, it's something that people should stop doing. Don't get involved. Don't get involved because you're not paying for the bill. If you are paying for it, that's it. You can do whatever you want with your money. But don't get into that person's head. Hey, why are you gonna leave a little extra because it's already included?
Especially
Who the hell
girls.
are
I
you?
feel like girls are
I
very
try to
part of
go
this
around the
situation.
topic and say everyone, but it happens a lot with women for
Get it
sure.
out of your chest, one. Get it out of
For
your
sure,
chest.
yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny because it's sometimes in most cases that's not even the main girl. It's not even the main girl, and she's getting in the ear of the guy. Hey, why are you gonna leave extra? They're just afraid that their money is gonna go away. When all he's doing is giving the
What
server an
money?
extra $100. Jesus, you're still gonna have your expensive ass purse. You know, you're still gonna have your trip to whatever. Relax. Why do you have to get involved? You know. So, again,
But
thank you
you
for
know,
letting me get off that chest because, god damn, I've been holding that in. Woo! Oh,
oh my God.
Jesus.
No, but it's really true. It's really true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
something that is bothering me a lot because it's kind of hard, man. It's kind of hard. You're trying to do the best out of everything, put the extra mile on that, and then they just come out of nowhere and say, "Hey, it's already included.
Yeah.
The tip is already included. Why are
Yeah.
you leaving extra? Why are you getting involved? First of all,
Oh, no. They grab the machine from the guy and go directly to the no tip and then hand you the card. I'm like, what the hell just happened here? After I just sweat my ass off for this fucking
after
table. And then these people are like, what the hell? So yeah,
what the
it gets
hell?
me pissed off, and it's something that happens a lot here, and it's just the culture of Miami. It's unfortunately that's how it goes here. But again, this needs to stop, please. This needs to stop because remember, you're
This is
not.
a call for all the ladies out
In
there
most cases, you're
that are
not the
getting
main one.
involved with the tip. Please do not even get close to your man when he's paying the bill. Okay, let us take care of the situation.
Yeah, and then when you do provide that excellent service, they take care of you, this and that. Now you're just adding a regulator to your list of regulators that you have. That next time they want to come to your place, they're gonna give you a call. They're gonna shoot you a text. Hey, take care of me. Your service was excellent. I'm going with so and so people. Make sure you take care of us well.
I have crazy
So
tips, man. I feel like here in Miami, you hear crazier stories with the
oh
tips.
no, I mean again, I've been working in this industry for half my life, and the money that I've made in Miami in terms of working in this industry is it can't be compared. It's crazy. Easily a server here in Miami, bartender can be making six figures a year. 100%.
Yes, yes,
Six figures easily.
yes, 100%.
Why? Because obviously you have to put in the hours. That's not just gonna come to your door. You're not gonna get that just by working one or two shifts. Maybe some places, yes, that's more like nightlife, like club environment, yeah. But for the people that work in the restaurants, if you're work at a restaurant where there's got the $4 signs on Yelp or Google, and you're working there,
Servers are banking inside
you're
there.
gonna be making some good money. So it's definitely an industry where you can do a lot of good, and if you're disciplined, and
But mentally, you need to be strong.
oh yeah,
Let's talk about mental health in the industry. Let's talk about how this can go from 1 to 10 in a seconds. How your life can be hanging in in maybe a paycheck.
yeah. I mean,
Like all these economic situations, all these good and bads. How that can affect us in the term of your regular life.
it all stems back to discipline, man, because this industry, if you're not disciplined and if you're not focused on maybe a certain goal, something that you want to achieve, you just go through the motions and you live day by day, shift by shift, and you're like, maybe, yeah, I'll go out and I'll spend 200, because now going out in Miami, man, you step out the door, $200, $300.
30, 60,
That's it.
100, 120,
Or you
140.
or you go out on a date with a girl, or whatever the case may be, something chill, 500, 600, $700 in Miami. It's crazy,
And it's,
So you have to be very disciplined. You have to be very disciplined and say, okay, listen, I'm going straight from my job. Maybe yes, I'll have that beer, to decompress. But go to your house, rest.
go to the
Take
gym.
a nice shower. Go to sleep. Next day, wake up, go to the gym, eat nice, eat healthy, and just keep that cycle going, and you'll see that you'll be achieving good things in your future. But if you're just going through the motions,
Wow, I
it's
feel
very
like
tough.
it's like a washing machine that's just like going like this, and next thing you know, 5 years pass, and you're in the same spot, and next thing you know, 10 years pass, and you did anything.
Yeah,
It's
and
hard.
it's because of
The way
the
of living,
it's just the way of living and what this city also
offer,
showcases and offers. It's a city
all the
where
craziness
obviously
on one city.
it's one of those cities in the world that almost doesn't sleep. Like
To
New
be honest
York
with
and
you,
Vegas and all these things. But
I can share this with you because I live in Vegas for a little bit, and I thought Vegas is gonna be wild compared with with Miami, and it's nothing compared to Miami.
no,
This is unique.
no, yeah,
The stuff that you see here is like so legit that it's from here.
no, yeah,
It's
that's
no
it.
other place in the world that you can see the situations that people go through here.
Oh yeah, in Vegas,
And we are the front lines
yes,
because you receive all the tourists, you receive all the people that are arriving from everywhere in the world. You sitting down with them and hearing these crazy stories. It's just like kind of fun at the same time.
yeah, in Vegas, basically you're just limiting yourself to the strip and what each maybe casino or what each hotel has to offer, or walking down the strip. But yeah, here it's anywhere you go, you're gonna run
That's what
into
I'm saying.
temptation.
Mental health is so important because you have to have everything aligned. In that way, you don't get involved with any of these type of situations, and you don't
Man,
go through any
it
of these
starts off with
things.
that word I said, man, discipline. Because if you're not disciplined in life, it's not gonna go well. You're just gonna be living that whole paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. And I can spend 200, 300 today because I know that tomorrow in my shift I'm gonna make
The
300
same
more,
amount of
same
money,
amount of money.
yes.
And you just
It's
keep
like
that
a
mentality
gambling thing, like
going.
an addiction type of thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it's I think that comes from the heart because again, for people that have been doing this
we all
for
been there.
for
I
fifteen plus
myself
years,
been there.
you know.
Everywhere been there. Everybody been there. But yes, I feel like you need to be disciplined. Discipline is the key on this type of business for you to keep it, to keep it growing. And also, it's so many people that dedicate, themselves to this, but they also have another careers. They also are DJs. They also are students. They also have so many other different careers that this is a job that give people like that sense of, okay, I'm gonna make a little bit of money here, because so many stories that you have, you hear that, okay, yeah, I work in a restaurant for a little bit just to make an extra money. People see it that way sometimes, like
Oh yeah,
an extra a side hustle
yeah, yeah.
that you can make a living out of that. But it's some people that are actually making a living out of being a server or out of working in a restaurant or out of being a hostess or anything like that.
Yeah, no, of course. There's people that, in my case, I do music on the side, DJ producer, and I have a passion for
We're here
working.
in your studio
Yeah, by
actually.
the way, we're coming from my studio, here in Miami in the 305. But the whole thing of, this is something that I have a passion for, the service industry. It's something that I've been doing most of my life. But my end all passion that actually moves me to the core is music. So, do I see myself doing this whole serving thing for the rest of my life? No. But I do know that if I'm disciplined and I put my mind to the fact that I need to focus on goals and save and try to get that temptation away from me, because again, it's very hard. Miami is a tough city, but if you keep those things in check, you can accomplish a lot in life. And this is gonna things that we're gonna be talking about in this podcast, and things that are gonna come up in next episodes, touching a lot of different topics. Again, we're
I'm
gonna be
excited, man. I'm excited to all the, the information, all the stories that we about to share in this platform. Super happy with all, all the things that all the pieces that we've been putting together just to make this happen. And I believe, we're gonna show the world what is this industry about, what really happened, uh, you know,
behind the scenes, behind
behind
the
the scene
curtains.
of behind the corners of the restaurant business. It's a great industry. You meet a lot of great people.
Oh yeah, so many
You know,
connections that I've
some
encountered
people
throughout.
create families, some people create very long term relationships.
Yeah, some
You
of my
know,
clients are actually good friends now, so
yeah, it's
it's
your clients that
crazy.
become friends. It's
It's crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
And they just like you start talking to them in some way, and then next thing you know, they're in their family party.
yeah,
Yeah, and then like,
yeah,
what's going on?
yeah, yeah.
Happened to me. Very, very good people that I met through this career.
I'm excited,
Um,
man. I'm excited. I actually want to thank you because you pushed me to get this podcast going. You know, you kept telling me we got to do it, we got to do it. And I kept telling you too. Again, this is whole thing of balancing life and work. And finally, we did decide to do the jump, and we got a nice, excellent production team behind us. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us, the Industry 305. Stay tuned. We are coming out with more episodes. Like, subscribe, comment. We're going to leave our handles down below. Special guests, a little bit of everything. You know, thank you for staying tuned with us. And yeah, I'm excited for what's to come.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the channel. Excited for everything that is coming. We're gonna bring to the screen very nice interviews, very nice stories, and thank you so much. We will really want to appreciate everybody that been, texting us and comment on every post. Thank you so much for that. We've been following, and and it's amazing in this amazing journey. I would like to show you guys what we really want to do with the industry behind the industry 305. Thank you so much.